through the steps that you'll need to take to get your business leader bio into iBooks Author, format all of your elements, and send it to me. To begin, you're going to open up iBooks Author, and it will leave you to this template chooser. You can either choose a template and then click on Choose, or you can double click on a template. Now, there are a number of templates in here that come as a default. So there's 9 in landscape with portrait, or there are 6 that are portrait only. And while iBooks Author would really prefer, while Apple would like you to use, I think they're trying to push people more towards the landscape because things just lay out easier and movies play nicer and all that. We're going to use one of the portrait only templates. So down here is the biography template, and I want you to open that. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to look at the basic layout of iBooks Author. Now it should look fairly familiar to you. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Nope, so we'll do it manually here. Okay, so a lot of the toolbars that you see up at the top are very similar to pages. So to add new pages, you can click on here, and we've got 3 options. We can either insert a new chapter, a new section, or new pages. So the pages are just pages. Sections, we have a couple of different kinds of sections, and chapters, we've got a couple of different options there. We can go into view and we can look at our page thumbnails, or you can pull up your rulers if you want to get that specific about where things are. We can choose our orientation, and we have the text boxes and insert shape and insert a table and insert charts and insert widgets. The widgets are new, but the rest of this is pretty much the same. This will open up a drawer. Now I expanded mine a little bit too fast. This will show you some of the styles that are available, but we're not going to worry about that because I'm going to do it once everybody's chapters are in here. Then I will format style everything. So once I've chosen the text, now these buttons become available. So we have the different kinds of, just like what this opened up, this is now opening up here. I can choose this sort of layout for my text. I can choose my font. I can choose how I want it formatted. I can choose my font size, my font color, and my background of the font color. I can bold, italics, and underline. Here's my alignment, my spacing, my columns, and my bullets. Over on the right side, you'll see, again, familiar toolbar or familiar buttons. So we've got the font, which will obviously give you all your font choices. So it opens up in a dialog down here. We can choose our colors, just like we've always chosen colors with the crayon box or the wheel. We can insert media, just like in GarageBand and iMovie and so forth. We can insert any kind of audio, any kind of photo, or movies. Now the movies have to be in .mov format, so you've got to make sure that your movies are saved or in QuickTime, that you're exporting it into a QuickTime video, which will put it into a .mov format. So again, all of our options are the same with the iPhoto and the audio. So here's a GarageBand, and here's my iTunes and my iPad choices and my iTunes U and all that. So I'm going to close that one, and then the last one again is the inspector. Now when the inspector opens up, again, it's just like so many of the inspectors that we are used to in the iLife. Oh, there it is. Okay, a little bit different, but fairly the same. The first button in the document inspector is where we can put our author and our title and all that. And I will take care of that for our purposes. I can set up a table of contents. The second button over gives us the layout inspector, gives us our layout and our numbering. So the basic page format and all that. Then we've got our wrap inspector here. So we can have inline, floating, or anchored. Floating is just like putting the object in front of text. If you are used to doing that in Word or in Pages and things. We can choose any one of these kinds of wraps, or we can have our text fit around an odd shape. Our text inspector, we can choose the text color, the alignment, the spacing again, and again the spacing here. Notice that there are 4 tabs here. This is just the text tab in the text inspector. We can choose our list options, and our bullets are down here. We can choose our tab options. So what kind of indents do we want? And then the more is interesting. The more is we can put in borders. And this is our background fill and our paragraph style. And we can do all this sort of options. Next is our shape inspector. I think it's our shape inspector. Come on, graphic inspector. So we can choose the fill and the stroke and the shadow around an object, which I don't have chosen right now. But if I did, all those would become active. Our metrics, we can put our shape exactly where we want it. Next is the table inspector. So we can build a table and insert it, and we can do different kinds of cell borders and backgrounds and the widths and the headers. And then over here is the formatting of the cells. We can insert a chart or more than one chart. And so we would do all of that here. The new button, whoops, forgot one. Here's the hyperlinks. We can either do a hyperlink like out to a web page, or we can put a bookmark so we can hyperlink to another place within our iBook. And the last button on the inspector is our widget inspector. And we'll talk a little bit about widgets. And we're going to be using specifically 2 widgets. I don't know if you're going to use another one beyond that. But I'm going to close this for now. See, come. Get over here. Jump. Good boy. Okay. So let's look at the widgets for a second. Widgets allow us to get a little bit interactive and have a little bit of fun. There are 9 different widgets. A gallery is like looking at a slideshow, a bunch of different pictures, like each one of these would be a different picture. This is for a movie. This is something like if I wanted to set up a review after you guys studied something, I could do that in here. I can literally insert a keynote presentation with the transitions and the animations still embedded. I can do an interactive image, 3D, a pop-over scrolling. We're going to stick mainly with these 2 right here for the purposes of this project. So those are widgets. All right. So first thing we're going to do, so we've chosen our template. And now we're going to go up to our chapter, our first page, our chapter. You're actually going to do a new chapter, just a chapter introduction. Okay. And it's going to call it chapter 2, but when I import it into the overall iBooks author, it will change the chapter number. Okay, let's see. You are then going to open up your document, and you're going to insert it. Now you can insert it from your Word document. And to do that, you would just go up to Insert, Chapter from either Pages or a Word document. So I'm just going to go out. I'm just going to find a Word document. I don't even know what I'm going to be finding here. So this could be interesting. Ooh, how to flip your classroom. That should be interesting. Oh, how to flip this house project. So once it gets going, I'm going to click on Insert. And it will automatically fill all the pages that I need based on the template that I've chosen and the document that I'm inserting. So this now says pick a layout for import content. So I'm just going to go with this, and I'm going to say choose, and it will insert it. Now you're going to be changing your title, and you're going to be putting in one of the quotes from your business leader right up front. And I'm going to show you, Samantha has done one already. She and I had worked together last week to get a trial, kind of walk through a trial and make sure that importing this way was going to work. Okay, now it inserted it into a new chapter, which is unfortunate. So why isn't that changing? There we go. So I just came down here to this down arrow, and I chose chapter introduction. This one I'm going to get rid of. Is that I don't need, there we go. All right, so here's my chapter intro, the first page, and it gives me a little bit of space on the bottom to write, and then I'm going to scroll sideways, and these are the pages that I just imported. Now you'll see there's a whole lot of text in here. Don't worry about what do I have versus what do you have. This is not something to be concerned about, but that's how easy it is to import text. Okay, here, this is the chapter number, this is your title, and what I want you to do is to put your business leader name, what they did, and who you are. Now, let me resize this again, because back here I have Samantha's. There it is. Okay, so once it brings, there we go. So this is her. So the person's name, your business leader's name, is going to be, there it is, font 45. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to make sure that this is business leader's name. I'm going to hit the enter key. Now you'll notice that it's not real happy because my name is so long. Oh well. Once I hit return, come on, you can do it. There it goes. Okay. On the second line, so it's going to be your business leader's name, then what they did. So I'm just going to say that this business leader is a business education teacher. And then by Mrs. Smith. All right, now you'll notice that I can't see most of this text. And the nice thing about this is that it allows you to move things around. Now, I could get this off center if I want, but I really don't. I want to bring this back so that the center line shows up. And now that that blue line is down the center, I know the text box is centered, so I can let go. All right, now I can grab on the plus sign and pull it down, and I can see some more text. So the first line should be 45-ish, depending upon your person's name. All right, so whoops, with this selected, it is 45. All right, for the second, the subtitle, you don't want it as big as the actual title. So we have chosen font size 24. So it's going to be 24 and then 17. So this is going to be font 24. So 24. And look at that. You can see it much better now. And then 17 for your name. Now you'll notice that there are sizes here. Can't see 17, so we're just going to type it in, hit the enter key, and there it is. Now, education. There we go. All right, you're going to put in your first quote and put the business leader's name. Lorem ipsum doesn't count, so we're going to say Martin Luther King Jr. This is not his quote. It's just the first quote that came to my mind. So the mind is a terrible thing to waste. We'll just give him that credit for now, which I know is wrong. Okay, so we've got our text in. We've got our title and our subtitle and our bio line, as well as our first quote in here. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to add your galleries. So it doesn't really matter to me where you add them. You just need to make sure that you have all of your essential elements in. Now in Sam's, she's got her person, what they did, and her bio, her quote, and then here's her text flowing. And you'll notice that there's some stuff in here. She actually had to go out and find a new picture because this picture over here with the orange was in here twice and it was just too much. So she just went to do this. She just went into insert, choose, and she went out and found the picture. This is what's called a gallery. A gallery, a gallery, when you click on the arrows on here, will show the different pictures. Now you'll notice that there are 3 little dots right here. Each one of them represents a picture. So this is her business leader trading card. So this is the front of the card, this is the back of the card, and then we put in a picture that had Annie Ann's logo. So it's an identifier. If I were to click this, it would start playing the video. Now you're not going to hear the sound because I've got my headset on, but we'll try this anyway.
Anna Byler has had a very successful life.
She starts with a quote, then puts in the principles of success, and ends with a quote. Again, it's a gallery, so you can see there are a lot of dots here, and again, the arrows to move back and forth. So it was the quote, here come the principles of success, and here are the principles of success. Now what she ended up doing was putting in the principles of success into Keynote or PowerPoint, and then doing screenshots. If you do that, make sure that you take a screenshot that is just the width of your words and goes from the top of the slide to the bottom of the slide, because if it's wider than it is tall, because of how the mask works with the pictures in this, you're not going to be able to get your entire picture to show. Words and letters are going to be cut off on the right and the left side. And then we put in a line, and then we put in the works cited, and I'll show you in a little bit how to do that. Okay, so these are the basic elements. Now on my paper, I'm just going to be throwing in some random stuff. So don't get all concerned because my stuff is going to be looking kind of weird compared to what you should be doing. But those are the elements that you're going to need to have. So let's start at the beginning. I'm going to put a picture in. So I'm going to decide where I want to put my picture. Oh, I guess I'll put a picture here. Now you'll notice there's a huge space here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to View, and down at the bottom it says Show Invisibles. These are those non-printing paragraph marks. So I'm just going to take a couple of these out just so that I can show you how this works. All right. So now I'll come over here. I guess I'll just kind of go in the middle here. And I'm going to say Insert, Choose, and I'm going to find a photo. And at this point, it doesn't really matter to me what photo. So let me find a screenshot here that isn't too awful. And these are going to be, oh, I'll use this one. I'll use Brave. So I'm going to double click or click and click on Insert. And it's going to put this picture in right here. Now it may take a second, so just be patient. Now I can move this around and you'll see the familiar handles. And so now I'm going to open up my inspector. That's weird. I don't know why I don't have. Okay, at least it's now all on one page. Let me go to my inspector. Now, if I had done this, maybe what I should do, I'm going to bring this into, oh, it's in here already. Let me take that out. If I had gone to my iPhoto, and I apologize, I have to wait for iPhoto to open up for me. All right, and I'll just come down here. And wait for this to open. Come on. All right, now these are the photos that I can put in. So I'm just going to take this photo of, I'm going to do Success. That's much better. And all I have to do is click and drag. So I'm going to drag this over and put it right in here. And poof, there it is. Still didn't come in with the mask, so I guess that's good. We'll just kind of take it as it comes. So as I move this around, notice that the text is moving as I'm moving it around. Move the window back over here. All right, so the text is moving around as I move the photo around. So what I want to do, similar to the put in front of text or put behind text, with that chosen, I'm going to come over here to the wrapping. And right now it's anchored, but what I want is I want it to be floating so that the words will flow freely. And I don't want the words to wrap. So you'll see I'm completely floating in front of my words now. So I'm going to put this here. I don't need it quite that big. I'll make it just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to put back in just a few of my blank returns. Or maybe I should have just left it the way it was. Once it is chosen, I can choose any one of the elements to make it look more like a picture. Now I can do that over there, or I can do it right here. So I could put in as if it's like in a photo album, or I think I'm going to use the torn edges. And so there's my success, my torn edges success, kind of an oxymoron unto itself. Okay, so that's how to insert a picture. Let's say I decide, so that might be a picture of my business leader. Okay, then I decide down here, I want to have a gallery of my business leader. So I'm going to come up to widgets. And in widgets, I'm going to choose gallery. And it's going to give me this little template sort of thing to put my pictures in. At the bottom of are the comments. Up here is the gallery because this is chapter 2. You'll see it says chapter 2 here. Chapter 2, gallery 1. That's what the 2.1 is. And then the title. And I'm going to say, whoops, helps if I don't erase everything. And I'm going to say, I'm going to pretend that these are all trading cards, baseball trading cards that my business leader has collected and then sold, and that's how he made his billions. So sample baseball cards owned by Martin Luther King. Can I get Junior in there? Nope. Okay, I'll just do by Martin Luther King. I can give a description down here if I want, or I don't even have to have that. If I don't want to have this at all, so I'm not going to have the caption. I could choose my background margin to be bigger or smaller. And just in case somebody has decided to take a look at our book and maybe they have some eyesight problems because there's the text-to-speech features within most of the iLife applications, we can just say, or we'll just double check that it says Gallery 2.1, sample baseball cards owned by Martin Luther King. And that's fine. We can choose to change the layout so that everything is at the top or top and bottom or just the bottom. I'm going to leave it the way it is. Let it just kind of default and go from there. Now, I want to do the interaction. So now right here is where I want the pictures to show up. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. If you save them all to a folder on your desktop, you can just import them to here, or you can click and drag them one at a time, or you can choose one by clicking the plus sign and then going out and finding a picture. So because I started this one this way, okay, let's find a picture here. Okay, so I'm going to insert that. And you'll see it gets a little screenshot here, and it's got little descriptor handles here so that I can click and drag it to rearrange my pictures once they're in here to decide what order I want this to appear. Now when I click on this picture, you'll notice that I have my edit mask. So if I click on that, I can see that my picture is just a little bit wider than it is tall, and that's fine. So I'm going to click off of it. All right, now let's say I want to do another picture. So I'm going to do another picture. And this time, what shall I choose? What shall I choose? There we go. We'll choose that one. And so here's my second picture. And you'll notice the arrow down here got gray. So if I click to the right, there's my first picture. I click to the left, there's my picture. Now for some reason, because I haven't chosen. For each picture, you may want to give an accessibility description, but you don't have to, but it's always nice to keep that in mind. So if I wanted to rearrange this, I could simply by clicking and dragging. Okay, so this is now the first one. This is now the second one. So I'm clicking right instead of clicking left to get to the camera. You have to select the gallery in order for these to show. I'm going to put this back so it's number 1. Okay, the show thumbnails. Right now you can see we have 2 pictures because there's little dots. I can click on show thumbnail and it will give me little thumbnails, little pictures of what the gallery picture is going to look like. And then I can also change the size of my gallery. I clicked on the wrong one. Oh, that was the gallery box, and it's really just it's the page limit box. This is just not wanting to get any smaller. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so again, as I move this around, you'll notice that the text is moving around, it's wrapping around my gallery, which I really don't want to happen too much, but I do want a little bit. So I'm just going to place this so that it's sort of in line with the text. Let's break it down a little bit. So it's lined up for the most part with the text here and with the text here. And then I can click off. And hey, doesn't that look good? Okay, so we've inserted a picture. We've inserted a gallery. Now we're going to put your movie in. So I'm going to put the movie in. I'll just set it's all in one close spot. Okay, so we're going to go back up. Sorry, my computer's being hesitant. So I try to do something a second time, and then all of a sudden it does both of the actions at the same time. So I'm going to come back up to widgets, and this time the widget is going to be media. Again, your video should have been saved as a .mov, and the widget box looks pretty much the same. So again, it's going to be movie 2.1 because this chapter that I'm doing right here is chapter 2. And then we can call it whatever we want. We can give it a descriptor down here. And literally all I have to do is either go into iMovie to click and drag, or I can open up my Finder window and I can find a movie. That's a long movie. There's a video by Harley Weigel from when he was young. And again, it's going slow. Okay, so I'm going to go to Powtoon. Nope. There it is, International Backup Day. Now you'll notice when I select this video that it's a MPEG 4 movie. And it actually has a .mov extension. So I'm going to choose this, and all I have to do is click and drag this down into the widget drop area. Actually, I'm going to put this over here so that it's somewhat. And then you'll notice that I've got some controls over here. So if I want, when they play the movie, if I want to force them to have to watch it in full screen, I can click full screen only. It's going to take a couple of minutes for it to format this. I can give it a poster frame. I can tell it to repeat, either never or to loop around over and over again. And right down here, I have my play controls. So play and fast forward and fast reverse and just go slow going forward. So I can either choose the tools up here, or I can just click down here. Okay, I'm going to click on it. Okay. So that, for the most part, is what you're going to do. So you're going to save this. I don't need this, so I'm going to see if I can delete that. Yeah, delete that. Okay, and actually, I don't need, there's a lot of pages to this. I actually don't need most of these pages, so I'm going to take them out. Maybe. One at a time, that's great. Mainly because I wanted to show you I can't believe there's not a faster way to do this. Okay, and all you're going to do is you're then going to just save this the way it is. Okay, so I took out the title, or I took out the first chapter, which you guys don't need to worry about because I've already done my intro. And then this is my Business Leader podcast. Okay, so just make sure you have everything in. Again, I'll show you Sam's one more time. So she's got her title with the name title is 45. The subtitle, what the person did or does, is font 24, and then the byline is 17. She's got a quote in the beginning, a picture, a gallery, which is really her business leader business leader trading card. She's got, this is just a picture of the time toast. Actually, that's the video. This is just a picture of the time toast. And this is another gallery of principles and the quotes. And then she's got a works cited. To put in the line for the works cited, let's go over here. Let's come back here. And we need to take some text out, or we're not going to be able to get the works cited in. Okay, this is a little ridiculous. So I'm going to insert. Oh, I'm almost done. Maybe. Nope. Okay, so I'm just going to insert right here. See if I can do a page break. Okay, so now I've got some space. All right, so I'm going to leave a blank line up there, and I'm going to put right here, works. Works cited. Okay, above that, I want to install a cantaloupe colored line. So I'm going to come over to, I don't remember where I saw this. Is it here? Nope. There it is. So under Text Inspector, you're probably going to end up on the text. Come down to the More, and right here you'll see there's a line. So I insert the line. Now, the line is pretty darn dark, so I'm going to click on the line color. I'm going to go to the crayon box, and the very first one right here is going to be cantaloupe. So I'm going to choose cantaloupe, and you'll see it went cantaloupe. So now I can close that. I'm going to close this for right now. I'm going to select the works cited. I'm going to center it, and then I can either copy and paste, or I can just start typing my works cited. Now, as you're typing, you'll notice that it indents the first line. So we're going to open up the inspector again. We're going to make sure that we're blinking, our insertion point is blinking in the line. And where's our layout? Nope. I'll find it. I'm still getting used to this. It's under measurements. Oh, come on. There we go, tabs. So I was right in the first place. Tabs. So you see the first line is in 40 points. The second line here is at 0. So what I really want to do is I want to make the second line at 40. So I put in a 4 and I have to hit the enter key, and it indented it, and then I got to change the first line to 0. So I'm just going to backspace over the 4, hit the enter key, and that's how you get it set up for MLA format for your works cited. Okay. If you have any questions, please make sure you stop by. Good luck.